Hey everyone, Dave here with Affordable Door and Gate. We are going to talk about gate operator loops, or sometimes they're called loop detectors or free exit loops that go in the ground that you cut in. So I want to give you the cost. I want to tell you kind of what goes on with them, some of the tools that you might need. So let's get started. So one of the biggest things is you have to determine what the ground situation is. Do you have asphalt? Do you have concrete? Do you have gravel? Do you have sand? What is your ground conditions? Once you determine that, you can determine if you need epoxy, how are you going to put it in, what kind of loop you're going to put in. If you have gravel, you typically have to buy a cable style type loop that's built to take the abuse of vehicles driving over it that can be buried into the ground. Those are normally your best bet. Obviously, if it's asphalt or concrete, you're going to end up needing a saw. You're going to need the correct blade for it, and you're going to cut it in and basically use some kind of adhesion to put it down. You're going to use epoxy, a two-part epoxy. Sometimes you can use loop sealant. Sometimes you can even get away with almost like a tar substance. So these screenshots I took for you out of the book I've had for years is very, very useful. It can explain everything to you, how to install it, what kind of stuff to use, how big to make the loop. It tells you the dimensions, which is very helpful, what size you should make it, and this will all play a part into the loop detector that you're going to have to hook up to this thing to make it work. So as I start talking to you about cost, it's important to make sure you sit down with a paper and pen and write everything down, because this stuff can add up really quick. I did a bigger job one time. Loop sealant alone cost me $420 in loop sealant. It was a really big loop. I really didn't have that factored in there, and it kind of caught me with my pants down. So just sit down and figure everything out. If you're just kind of starting out, it might be something you want to consider to just do material and labor separate. Say, look, I'll charge you hourly. You got to buy all the material. That might be a safe way to go. So you're looking at a list that I've built over the years. Excuse my handwriting. I'm not the best speller, but it's just something I bring with me that anytime I forget something, I always bring this stuff with me. It has a list of everything, leaf blowers to anything I think we would need on the job to make our job easier, faster, quicker, more convenient, and nicer. So like with this loop sealant, this stuff can add up really quick. This stuff runs $25, online. That's not including shipping, possibly tax. So these are things that you got to all find out, because this can really screw you if you don't know the price on it. So it's very important to get all your ducks in a row. And that's why I said maybe time and material is the way to do it, at least if you're a beginner. Now, sometimes on these loops, I use on an average loop somewhere between 4 and 6 tubes. And then with your wire, here's a roll of it. I can typically use a 500 foot. It's just safe because I don't want to have any splices. I don't want to solder it together. I want to have one continuous run. You can see this is $60. So depending on how many loops you're doing, if you're doing a free exit, if you're doing a shadow loop, if you're doing a safety loop, it can start adding up real quick. And this isn't even out the door yet with tax. Don't forget your loop detectors. Loop detectors can get expensive too, depending on where you get them. Sometimes these places will play tricks with you. They'll show you a lower price, but they get you on the shipping. So you need to know what the shipping cost is on everything. And like I said, if you're kind of just starting out, that's why I said it's better to put it on the homeowner or the customer or a friend to possibly, hey, you purchase this stuff, that's on you. They feel the pain. You're just a laborer. You just have the cost of it. Might be a way to start out. And there's different ones, depending on what model you have. So you got to figure all those details out, which is kind of a nightmare. So it does take some time to get everything hashed out. So in conclusion, what would I say roughly? Nowadays, we used to charge around $400 back in the day. I would say you have to be somewhere probably in the $600 to $800, as maybe even as high as $1,200, depending on the situation and everything that's involved. So I hope that helps somebody out there. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Don't forget, you can always email me with any questions. I normally put it in the description below. It's the Daveadubson@gmail.com with any questions, concerns, or questions. I love to hear from you guys. Otherwise, have a good one and take care. We'll see you on the next one. Hey, if you made it to the end, I just wanted to throw this little bonus tip in there for you, just for somebody that doesn't know and doesn't have the years of experience like I do. If you ever decide to do one of these pipe bomb looking ones, or these ones that are these puck looking ones that go on the side that you don't have to actually go across the driveway itself, where the vehicle actually goes over it completely, it's off to the side. I just wanted to let you know that those things don't work. I've been very disappointed with them over the years. I've tried different brands, different models. I still to this day cannot find one that works flawless. Will they get the job done? Yes. But do I think they're callbacks and nothing but problems, and the range isn't as good and they're not as reliable? Absolutely yes. So something just to consider, to think about. Take care, you guys.